So today my son is going to be reading chapter 2 out of my Kids on a Case, the case of the 10 grand kidnapping. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you're all staying safe and healthy during this time. I hope this provides at least some entertainment for you and your family. Enjoy the extra time together.
Chapter 2, Missing. Kimberly, we're home. Kimberly's mother, Brittany, called out as she walked through the door. Several hours later, Hardy, Kimberly's father, walked into the house behind Brittany and closed the door silently. At 36, Brittany's straight, light brown hair was starting to gray, which now made her sparkling light blue eyes seem duller. Hardy was 35, and his straight brown hair had no sign of gray as of yet, which made Brittany slightly jealous. "You should be quieter, dear. She's probably asleep. You know she's usually in bed already when we work late. You go to bed. I'll say goodnight to Kim," Harry whispered softly to Brittany, looking over. Where was I? Her with penetrating dark blue eyes. He went upstairs to Kim's bedroom. As he bent to kiss her forehead, he realized that she wasn't in bed. There was not even the actual aroma of his daughter on the bed, nor was the warmth of her body then on the velvety cherry red sheets that were stone cold. "Kimmy, where are you?" he called, a little worried. He walked around checking all the upstairs rooms, but he couldn't find her anywhere. Getting a little worried, he darted downstairs. "Kimmy, where are you?" he inquired.
Yeah.
Into the dark and silent hall, Brittany came down the bedroom in a silk green nightgown, her hair flowing down her dainty shorts. "What's wrong, honey?" she asked. "Kim's not in her bedroom," he exclaimed. "Maybe she fell asleep in the library or the den." "I'll go check the den and the room on the side of the hall. You check the rooms on that side," Brittany suggested, trying to calm Hardy down. "You're right as usual, dear," Hardy said, giving Brittany a kiss on the cheek. Brittany searched first one room, then another. She still didn't see her. Hardy checked the library and found the tables overturned, the books scattered everywhere, and a chair broken the back of the room. "Oh my word," he said to Brittany and showed her the mess. "It could have been Kim and her friends playing tag again," she said. "But certainly, I hope you're right, dear. But I doubt that you are," Hardy said. "You go and sit in the den. I'm going to make some home phone calls." "All right, but don't call the police until you call her friends to make sure she's not with one of them," Brittany said, straining not to cry. Straining? What does that mean?
She's trying hard not to.
"All right, I'll call her friends first," Hardy replied. "Then I'll call When he called my house, I heard the phone ring and my dad answered it. Hello?" There was a pause, and my dad exclaimed, "What? She's not home? Then don't you know where she could be?" There's another pause. "That's a good idea. He's in bed. I'll wake him up and you talk to him. You can talk to him. I know it's tough. Try to stay calm. Dad's footsteps came up to my door. The footballs echoed through the house. He knocked and whispered, Tyler, get up and come talk on the phone. My dad was tall, so his head seemed pretty up and high up in my doorway. To make him seem even bigger, he had a medium build and he had a slightly pot belly. What's a pot belly?
Like a bit of a gut that sticks out.
Where was it? His straight brown hair was a little messed up from being at work all day. He was 37 and worked a lot. As he turned on my light, his piercing green eyes were visible, and I looked right, and they looked right at me from the doorway. I'm up, Dad. Who's on the phone? I asked groggily. Mr. Mockington, but don't make any jokes. This is serious. He wants to ask you something. I crawled out of bed. The chill of the night made me shiver as I walked sloth-like to the slack gray phone, right?
Slate gray.
Hi, Mr. Mockington. You want to talk to me? I asked, half asleep. Do you know where Kim might be? We didn't find her at home, Mr. Mockington said, trying to sound calm, and failed miserably. No, I don't know where she is. Who have you called? I answered. All of her girlfriends. They haven't seen her anywhere since school. They said that two were friends, though, Mr. Mockington replied. I know a couple of guys you could call. You think something could happen to her? I asked. My courtesy had got the better of me. What's courtesy?
Curiosity.
Oh. I always thought it was courtesy.
Mm-mm.
But I received a letter from my father. We're hoping that nothing was happened to her. But thanks for trying to find out who are the guys and what are their numbers, Mr. Mockington asked anxiously. Dave Sullivan Jr. and Kurt Miller. She always hangs out with them. They were two of my best friends, and they were involved in my schemes. Schemes? Yep. Yeah. We all got in trouble together a lot. Phone numbers, Mr. Mockington asked impatiently. Oh yeah, sorry. But don't get your hopes up, because I don't know why she would be with them right now, although I hope she is, I said, not wanting to disappoint
him.
Disappointed if she was there. I recited the phone numbers into the receiver. I won't get my hopes up, but I do thank you. I'm going to call them right now. Goodbye, and I thank you again, Mr. Mockington said. I hung up and saw my mom eating at the dining room table, her long wavy hair falling almost into an ice cream bowl. Walking over, and I said, I hope he finds Kim. Looking up into my eyes. She said, me too. What? Walking over, I said, I hope he finds Kim. Looking up into my eyes, she said. Me too. They must be so worried. She ate a spoonful of ice cream. I always get worried when you get into all those schemes with those friends of yours? My mom is a stay-at-home mom who doesn't miss much. Comforting warmth. And when I was suddenly stopped dead by a very tipped voice. Tyler, where's the chocolate syrup this time? I walked over to the cupboard and moved cracker boxes, which crinkled noisily in argument. From in front of the syrup. Right here, Mom. I said matter-of-factly, and I handed it to her, squeezing syrup on her ice cream. She gave me a look. Why do you keep hiding the chocolate syrup? So when I want some.
So it's there when I want some.
He said. I replied quickly. Well, I don't hide it. I won't hide it. Don't hide it anymore, she said, her voice filled with irritation. I just chuckled and walked up to my room, called and crawled into bed. Hardy called Kurt and Dave, but to no avail. Kim had not been seen since the end of school day. He decided to call the police. In no time, 2 police cars pulled up into their driveway. Hardy welcomed the 3 officers with, what, 2 police cars and 3 officers?
Mm-hmm.
With 3 anxious handshakes and took them directly into the library. There they found a broken shelf. Books were strewn
Yep.
across the floor. Tables were overturned. Chairs were scattered everywhere, and pieces of broken chair strewn
across the floor.
And musty smell of old books reinforced that the room was truly a library. Officers took pictures, fingerprints, and whatever evidence they could find from the room. Chief Goodall was a happy man and man of medium build. At 37, he had a salt and pepper hair. Salt and pepper hair? What's salt and pepper hair?
It's black with bits of white popping in.
Hair and a small pot belly. And he was about to leave the library when he glimpsed something under the table at the back of the room. What's this? A flashlight? He thought he picked it up. She thought as he picked it up from the flashlight with his gloves. Picked up the flashlight with his gloves. He looked over and then dropped into an evidence envelope. He turned into Hardy. That's all we can do for tonight, I'm afraid. Mr. Monkington. Right now I'm thinking that this is a kidnapping case. We'll be back tomorrow to take more evidence. And they'll be asking your neighbors what they've seen. Right now, it's too late to do any thorough evidence collecting. I know how difficult this must be for you, but don't worry. He'll find Kim. People guilty.
Mm-hmm.
The people guilty of this will be brought to justice. What's justice?
It means they'll be going to jail, is what he's saying.
Chief Goodall said, trying his best to comfort Hardy. Thanks for coming this late at night. Please don't give all the details to Brittany. She is worried sick as it is. Thanks again. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, Hardy said. Here's my card. Call me if you need something or someone to talk to. See you. Goodall shook hands with Hardy and handed him his card. Hardy took the card and watched as Goodall turned around, heading for his car, and he drove after his men. Hardy closed the door slowly, and his shoulders started to shake, and a feeling of emptiness took over him. The loud, obnoxious ringing of the phone suddenly awakened Hardy and Brittany. Hardy sprung out of bed. Maybe they found her, he said excitedly. He grabbed the phone. Hello? Hello? He said, getting a little annoyed with no one answering. Hello? Hello? What the heck? What's that supposed to mean?
It says, her ransom is 10 grand was all he heard. And
What?
then what the heck? He started angrily.
10 grand, the voice repeated. 10 grand. How am, Hardy? How am?
Yeah, he's getting cut off. That's why the dots mean. Okay, keep going.
Hardy protested. 10 grand, the voice interrupted again. Final word. You have 1 week. I'll call you. But how? He started again. But he realized it was pointless as Len had been gone dead. Hardy slammed the phone down and stormed outside into the patio, pushed open the door after himself with a loud whack. Normally he would have a stop to enjoy the sweet, refreshing morning air, breathing deep into his lungs, but not on this day. Brittany, completely baffled, and ran after him. What's wrong? Who's that on the phone? Is Kim right? All right? He interrogated. She interrogated, dreading the answers she might be get even as she asked. They kidnapped her. Just like we suspected. Hardy put his hand around his wife's shoulders. I suspected it. But it's just couldn't believe it until now. Who dared to take my baby? Poor Kimmy. She's probably scared to death. With these last words, a tear rolling down his cheek, Brittany hugged him and started crying. Let's go into the house. You can fill me in. What does fill me in mean?
Let her know what had happened.
They went inside and sat on the honey oak dining room table. Who did? Brittany asked worriedly. Oh, I don't know. But I don't.
I don't know who, but I do know why.
Hardy answered. Why? Brittany asked nervously. They wanted 10 grand, he groaned. 10 grand? Brittany cried. Where are we supposed to come up with that kind of money? I don't know. I probably saw this house and inherited.
We inherited.
Although
and thought we were rich.
Hardy exclaimed, gesturing. What is 10 grand? 10,000?
That's $10,000. And that's not our money, that's theirs. But anyway, keep going.
I didn't know they probably... What? We're supposed to come with... I didn't know they probably saw this house... Okay. Hardy exclaimed and gestured around him. I thought...
Oh dear.
Oh dear, you're probably right. Brittany exclaimed and started to weep again. I better call Chief Goodall. He'll want to know about this, Hardy said, getting up and walking to the phone. He picked up the receiver and dialed the Chief Goodall's number. When Chief Goodall arrived, he was pointed to the phone number call. It was 8:34 in the morning. He asked Hardy if he had recognized the voice at all, if they had suspected someone. Hardy and Brittany were angry at themselves for not being able to
be of any real help.
In fact, they were completely helpless. Their only child was gone. All they could do was sit around and do nothing. This disaster would draw them closer than they had imagined possible. Harry told them what they needed to do that Austin, and they were out for and that he was going out for a walk. He strolled down to the school and arrived just as second period classes were starting. I saw him appear in the doorway and knock. His face was grave, and he looked terrible, with his clothes untidy and his hair unkempt. It looked like something was seriously wrong at
the sound of the knock.
At the sound of the knock, our teacher, Mrs.
Becker,
looked up and saw him. Oh, Mr. Mockington, nice to meet you. She squeaked into her face. Miss, She squeaked in her high-pitched voice. Shoulder-length curly hair fell down her face, and she brushed it away. Mr. Becker was an overly happy woman. Her green eyes looked straight into Mr. Mockington's. Miss Becker, may I speak with you, please? He asked gravely. Brushing away the hair from her face again, she walked into the hall. High heels clicked beneath her. As she walked closing the door. She told us to behave because she would be just around the corner. I had a feeling that they had not found Kim. And this was confirmed when I heard Mr. Becker shout, "Oh my gosh!" And I can't believe it. She must be so scared. Poor Kim. When they came back to the classroom, Mr. Becker was white as a ghost. Okay, class, quiet. You're almost in grade 8. You can't keep quiet while I'm gone for 2 seconds. When the class was quiet again, she continued, Mr. Mockington had some bad news. He wanted to talk to all of you. She said at him. She looked at him and said, "Go ahead." I'm gonna stop there.
No, one last page.
Because, Dad,
One page and then you're done the chapter.
Okay, well, I don't know how to say this gently, but here goes. Kim's been kidnapped. We don't know who did it yet, but Chief Goodall is investigating the case. The words kidnapped and poor Kim went all around the classroom. Hardy raised his voice above the chatter. If any of you has any information or finds out anything, please give Chief Goodall a call. We're going to be hanging up posters. And can you help spread the word as well? He turned and walked out of the classroom. When school day came to an end, everyone was talking excitingly about Kim's strange disappearance, and we were all praying that the police would find whoever who had done this. Quiet class, Mrs. Becker shouted. I know today is the second last day of school for the year, so I want you to know that no one is in the classroom has failed. A cheer went up from the whole classroom that I was sure to get been hard. I have sure been hard.
Heard from the other side of the skull.
Hold it, I'm not done talking. You all did very well on your final exams, except for a couple students. She mumbled the last part, but everyone heard the class laughing. We all knew that she was talking about Elmont Winters and Ruth Travers were the class slackers. What are slackers?
Means they don't put in a lot of effort.
After a moment,
Don't laugh, or I'll sock someone, Elmont threatened angrily.
What does sock mean?
It means punch.
Where was it?
Mrs. Becker was trying to get our attention again. Right down here. Yeah, I just read that part, so start there. Okay, class.
Okay, class. Close your books or stop whatever you're doing. The bell is going to ring just a couple minutes, so get. Before she could finish her sentence, the bell cut her off. You're dismissed, she mumbled. After a moment, a total confusion. The classroom was completely clear, as if someone had screamed, "Bomb!" Completely clear, that is, except for Miss Becker. She sat down with a sigh. One more day until freedom. Freedom for these rugrats. Anyway, she chuckled. I'm sure to miss their laughter. Chapter 3.